Boom.
Hi Tony, how you doing today? Thanks for taking the time to sit down and meet with me to go over your program.
No problem.
First, I'd like to do kind of start off by saying we're going to do things a little bit differently this year. I'd like to really kind of dig in a little bit deeper into your program, really analyze kind of what we're doing to make sure we're doing the best possible program with you and make sure we're going the right course there. So we're going to kind of dive in a little bit further into your overall strategy and your program, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Basically for the agenda today, we're just going to kind of dive in and look at some different analytics, some different pieces of your marketing to see what we're doing, see if there's any improvements, things we can do differently to improve the strategy there. A few of the things that we're going to be looking at are the website and your SEO analysis, your dexnotes.com profile ranking, reputation management, your visibility on the internet, ratings, reviews, things like that. And then also take a look at just the rest of your online strategy, I guess, basically.
Perfect.
Sound good?
Yep.
First, we're going to take a look at your market, though. There's a lot of competition. You know that auto parts is a very competitive industry. I'm sure you know that. We look at the different spend here in the different industry, but basically, if you look at the market as a whole, you've got quite a bit of competition. The projected spend, though, with the buyers is over $4 million in your local area, and the amount of buyers is over 16,000. So what we want to do is make sure we have a perfect, well-rounded strategy that covers all the different advertisers or prospective buyers. Down here, we kind of look at the different breakdown of where people are going to find your goods and services in your industry. With the leading is going to be more of your online sources, such as the search engines, but right there neck and neck is going to be your website. So it's very, very important to have a good website that can be found, people can understand, and it's user-friendly. Going down from there, you can see that the print yellow pages is still a very valuable source of leads. It falls right behind search engines. Right after that is online yellow page directories. And then we also have online reviews, social media, and things like that kind of behind it. Also, you'll notice that coupons is also a big one in your industry, so something to kind of keep in mind there when we're looking at everything. But you can see the demographics of the population in the area is over 81,000. So we really want to make sure, like I said, we're addressing everybody, different ages, demographics. So we have to have a well-rounded program that covers all that. Over here is another thing that we like to look at, ratings and reviews. They're becoming more and more popular every day. It's basically online word of mouth. You tell me all the time that word of mouth is your best source of leads, so reviews and ratings are basically the same exact thing, but online. So they say over 80% of people that look at ratings and reviews trust them, so we want to make sure you have a good reputation out there, otherwise we could lose a lot of potential business otherwise. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. Now moving on, we're going to take a little bit deeper look into your website. This is a website that you've actually created with Dex. I know that this is something that's somewhat new. I can tell you right off the bat, you've done a really good job. We've got a lot of the main components on there that people are looking for. You've got all your social media sites linked on here with your Facebook, Twitter, Google+. We do have a good message with your phone number right across the top so people don't have to look for it, search around, which is very important. Also helps out with the search engines by having everything kind of right there on the first page above the fold. We talked about videos before. You've also got a video on the front page. Google likes that. That helps with optimization, keeping people on your site longer. Overall, it's just a really good strategy to give people a better understanding of what you guys do and who you are. Across the board, though, I think that the website's very good. You've got the coupon, the 10% off order where people can click on it and actually print it out, which helps track the effectiveness of your program. Yeah, like I said, across the board, it's a very, very good website. I think you guys have done good, and I know you're still doing some ongoing changes and updates there. So, like I said, anything you need in that area, let us know if we can help you out.
Yeah, we can update that at any time, correct?
Absolutely. You
Okay.
can update that at any time you like to. That's all part of your package that's included there. And we do recommend that, actually. Search engines, Google, Yahoo, and Bing, they really do like it when people have constant changes, updates, blogs, testimonials, things like that. They like a site that changes its dynamic. So, absolutely, I'd recommend the same. And the same is true when it comes to your mobile website. You've done a good job there, kind of making it short, simple, and for people to use and to understand and navigate through.
And you guys did that for me, right?
We did. That
Okay.
was also included with your package for the website there. Another part of the website, though, is basically just how it's being linked and where it's being shown up on the different sites. And this is some of the stuff that we've been doing for you with your online Yellow Pages packages, yellowpages.com, search engine marketing, And then just recently, the optimization. This is the one thing that we've been talking about doing to do some back-end optimization or search engine optimization to make sure you start ranking in more searches. But starting off to look at where we're at right now, we're doing a really good job making you show up. I just did a very common search as used auto parts in Gary, Indiana. The very first one that shows up is you guys. This is an ad that comes from our search engine marketing program. Right below that is salespages.com. If you click on that, that's going to take you right to your priority local listing, your top spot on the under used auto parts. So we've got some good coverage there. Down below that, you're going to see that you also have your Google Plus or your local listing that comes up on there. The next page is actually the lower part of page 1 of Google. We've got your actual website here, and then also another listing that we have from another local online Yellow Page site, and then another ad down at the bottom by yellowpages.com. So we've got about 7 different places on the very first page of Google in your local area with your main heading. So right off the bat, that's a very, very good to see. What we'd like to see is more of that, obviously, and that's why we're going to look into the search engine optimization to get you on more top spots organically on other pages outside of just Gary. So right off the bat, though, I do want to give you kind of applaud and, like I said, let you know we're doing the right thing as far as this stuff goes. So I just wanted to let you know kind of how you're appearing and where we're showing up online. Make sense to you?
Absolutely, and I love to see myself showing up multiple times on that first page.
Absolutely, that's what it is. Everybody wants to be on Google, on the first page of Google.
Yep.
Next, we're going to take a little bit look of kind of the back end of your website. This is what we call kind of like website metrics or SEO metrics. These are kind of looking at how the site is put together. There's a lot of different factors that Google uses when ranking web pages. It's kind of a popularity contest. What they do is they look at many different, both on-site and off-site components, and then what they do is from there is they kind of rank you accordingly. Right off the bat, we have a 23 out of 100 user score. A big part of that is because your site is new. Google hasn't seen a lot of traffic yet. So that's what the SEO is all about, and that's what all the different links that we have is going to really help with. So going back to the on-site stuff, on-site's going to make sure that you have a title tags on your pages, you have a site map, the site is properly put together, so basically Google can read it in a friendly manner and it can tell them what is included in the website. The more that you have as far as tags, site maps, things like that, the more detailed layout and structure that you have, the more often you're going to show up because Google knows that you do more in more cities, and more towns, and more searches. So ultimately you're going to show up a lot more that way. And then there's also the off-site stuff, and that these days is probably just as important, if not more important. Off-site is all about rating, kind of links. Links into you, it could be, basically just traffic that you've had over the course of your website, the longevity of the domain name you have. A lot of little components there, and like I said, a big part of what Dex can do for you is the optimization side is going out and finding really good links. Getting you linked up to a lot of the top IYP or Internet Yellow Page sites, such as yellowpages.com, Dexno, Supermedia, things like that. Those are all going to go a long way when it comes to ranking your site. Builds up your trust, your credibility, and that's what Google wants. They want to make sure that you're linked up to top sites out there with credible sources and credible information. So that's kind of what the SEO does. And you're going to see over time, the more optimization that we do to your site, your page rank is actually going to go up higher. They're going to make sure there's no, bad pages, unreachable pages, bad links, anything like that. So optimization is something that does take a lot longer, but you will see, as we are seeing right now in your local area, page 1, position 1, you do show up. So we want to keep doing that, and we want to keep doing that under more keywords, under more cities and towns. So optimization is going to be a big part of your success when it comes to getting your website seen online, basically. Yeah, make sense to you?
Yep, absolutely.
Great. Then we're going to take a little bit of look of your online profile. This is your Dexno's profile, and this is actually more important than many people kind of think about it. The Dexno's profile is big because not only does it get you on Dexnos.com, but this actually gets pushed out to many, many sites that goes onto the internet. Dex is a huge part of where people get found on the internet and how people are showing up. We are the ones that provide the information to yellowpages.com. When we have an ad that goes up, we push it to yp.com, which in then turn gets you on the yp.com network, can show up on Yahoo Local and many other sites. So we want to make sure that this is very thorough, accurate, up to date, because like I said, this is what's going to supply the internet with a lot of different information.
That makes sense.
actually kind of ties into our reputation management, which we talked about a little bit too. We'll get into that a little bit further, but this is a very good profile. You guys have a lot of information on there, good content. You've got your print ads on there, you've got your video on there, which is great. The map, the directions, hours of operation. Couple things that I thought could be some opportunities could be your coupons. I noticed you did coupons on your website.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a good place to also put those coupons on your profile page.
Okay. Is that something that you could do for me, possibly?
Absolutely. We can do it for you. I can walk you through how to do it yourself. Either way, it's up to you.
Okay.
So basically you can have whatever coupons you want to, weekly, daily, monthly, or you can just have coupons that are on there all the time. It's a good way to track your marketing, your advertising, and to get a good feel for what people are doing out there. So that's just kind of one opportunity, especially because looking back at your industry and where people are looking, coupons was a big part of what people are looking for when they look for auto parts. So coupons would be a good one. Also, adding a few more of those links to your social media pages, just like we have you set up on your website with, we should definitely do that with your Dexnos profile. These days people, they like to be in touch with everything, with the Facebook, with the the Twitter and all that. So we like to kind of keep everything together, keep it all interconnected there. The last thing I'd recommend is ratings and reviews. You did have some good ratings and reviews when we look back at your market and your brief analysis there. We had some reviews, not a lot, but these days it's good to have a lot on a lot of different sites, because if people are looking down a list of multiple sites and certain businesses have multiple good reviews and the business next to it doesn't have any, people are more inclined to have a little more faith or trust, or just call the one that has good reviews. As I mentioned before, it's online word of mouth. So if people are saying good things about a business, people tend to click on that and call those businesses more often.
Makes sense.
So the one thing I'd recommend here is to really make sure we get people to go online to Dexnos and also give you some good ratings and reviews. There's a lot of different ways we can do it to encourage it. Some people are giving a business card that says something along the lines of "Thank you for choosing us for your business. Your greatest compliment to service would be a referral to a friend or family," and then printing that out and giving it to people. We can even send out emails these days where you can kind of put the same verbiage and then send them to certain sites such as Dexnos, YP.com, Google, Bing, things like that. Basically, just getting your name out there, getting the word out there so people can see it, and like I said, the more that you have, the better it's going to help you out in the long run. So the profile is very important, just to make sure it's very thorough. And like I said, you've got a very good profile so far, just a couple little things that we can add to it. That goes on to a little bit more about your reputation management. We did a brief search to kind of see how you're showing up there. There's many different sites out there that pull information from many places. So with reputation management, we want to make sure that you are being found on all the different sites by anybody that's looking for you, search engines, smartphones, IYP sites. So we have a program that kind of talks about that and really addresses that issue, where it puts out all the information to the correct places. So we have your name, your number, your hours, your videos. Everything is all current, accurate, up to date, and it's the same across all the different sites. So that's something that I think would be very good. Right now, looking at your brief score here, your presence, it shows that there were 772 sources found on the internet, and only 5 of them were verified, correct? So that doesn't mean they're all wrong. It just means that none of it have been verified. So there could be a lot of issues out there. Definitely something to think about here, because I think these days, being that everybody searches differently, we want to make sure that we can be found in all the different ways they can be finding you. Does that make sense to you as well?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I think this is a big one, especially because a few years ago, you guys moved locations. Anytime you move, change addresses or anything like that, names, that's a big part. You're going to see that different sites get their different information from other places, so we need to make sure that that's correct and up to date. So the reputation management will do a good job of that. Not to mention the other half of it's going to be keeping updated with all ratings, reviews. Anytime somebody mentions you on the social sites, the reputation management program is actually going to address all that for you, give you reports of that, and allow you to be aware of it, up to date, and also go out there and reply to it if somebody gives you a bad review. Next, we're going to move on to the next slide, which is kind of just a follow-up, I guess. Now that we've talked about all these different areas of your business and your marketing, I just wanted to kind of throw the ball back at you and kind of see what's important to you at this point, and from there we can actually kind of address that. And when I come back, I can put together some information that will talk more about the different points that we're looking at there. So does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. That was really helpful.
Yes, thank you so much for your time and your business, and I'll see you next week.
Sounds good.